For a long time about how Beyonce isn't exactly who we think she is because she's not as good as we think she is.
Where's Beyonce and Jay-Z? You know,
yes,
people
where are they?
Watching this train. People are watching this train wreck. Why are nobody speaking out? Why is
Diddy is fighting tooth and nail to make sure he doesn't go down alone? Well, it looks like his plans are finally succeeding because he just brought undeniable evidence of how Jay-Z allegedly unalived his mistress, Cathy White, to protect Beyonce. Allegedly, Cathy White got pregnant.
Cathy White's true killer is going to be unveiled. And it's not a man. And that woman died screaming.
Anything else?
Yeah. Show him the tape, Diddy. You got it.
I get paid every day. I get paid just to say I get paid. Money coming to me easily. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming in frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in.
With the release of Beyonce's new album and the ongoing controversy surrounding P. Diddy and his web of connections in the industry, I want to branch off and talk a little bit about people's theories on why the House of Carter may be on shaky grounds in this moment. And when I say House of Carter, I am specifically talking about the patriarch of this family, Jay-Z, and those who are closely associated with him, which also would include Beyonce, his wife. The rumors of Jay-Z having a longtime mistress while being married to Beyonce are coming back to the surface with all the heat that has been on P. Diddy and those associated with him. Let's dive into this situation. Let's talk about the rumors, the speculation, all while keeping in mind that this is a real woman who we're talking about. She's not a character in a plot. She's a real woman who tragically lost her life at a very young age. And let's just make sure that we're being very respectful as we dive into this conversation. Back in August of 2010, a bombshell article was published in which 41-year-old Jay-Z was accused of having an affair with a 28-year-old woman named Cathy White. Cathy White is described by her peers as being very business savvy, very intelligent, extremely kind, and extremely well educated. Cathy was on track to have a very bright and very successful future. Cathy was a graduate of Howard University. She was a model, and Cathy created her own business, which was a PR consulting firm called White Label PR. Because of the work that Cathy did in public relations, she was often rubbing shoulders with A-listers, rappers, and celebrities. The article that was published in 2010 included details of a wild night out in Las Vegas with Jay-Z, P. Diddy, Cathy White, and a model named Claudia Jordan. Their evening was said to be filled with gambling, clubbing, drinking, and a lot of PDA. We know Beyonce and Jay-Z had been married since 2008, but Beyonce was nowhere to be seen at this evening out. Once this article, along with damning photographs, were released, an editor over at Star Magazine reached out to Cathy White to try to get her side of the story. This former editor over at Star Magazine's name is Liz Crocken. Liz was writing an article looking into some of the controversy surrounding Jay-Z, his history of cheating and shady behaviors, and she was building a timeline, and she really wanted to hear what Cathy had to say about their alleged relationship. And Liz reached out to Cathy White to hear her side of the story. Cathy White denied even knowing Jay-Z. Once Liz was able to produce photographic evidence, Cathy agreed to consider coming forward and sharing her side of the story. A few days after this initial conversation, Liz had not heard anything back from Cathy White, allegedly. This prompted her to give Cathy White's PR firm a call. Liz was able to reach one of Cathy's employees at her PR firm, and this employee allegedly shared that Cathy White had passed away suddenly and unexpectedly. Go to part 2.
When you hear 16 carriages, she is directly stating that her entire life, she recorded this album years ago, but her entire life, Summers, her whole life has been taken away from her. Mm-hmm. She wants freedom. The name of the album is Cowboy Carter, and he's traveling, when I tell
what
you,
a narcissist.
everywhere with her. She stopped posting pictures of her anniversary years ago.
She's the next slave princess. She's like Britney. She's trapped. Probably can't get out, and she knows it, and she knows if she tries to get out, they'll do to her what they did to Britney Spears. any musician with that level of fame and power, they will not let
Jay-Z
you go.
is not working. He ain't really got no
Yeah.
artists under Rock Nation. What does
Yeah.
he own? Like, think about it. Like,
Yeah.
when you look at Jay-Z's, okay, the Ace of Spades champagne. What else does Jay-Z own? He don't own no ball team.
Right.
Like, they were trying to say that he owned the ball team. No. Like,
Right.
that stuff, that's all. He's like, you know how you buy shares into something? You buy shares into it. But I'm talking about true, like, money. Like, he is on Beyonce's ass, like, everywhere that she goes.
You asked, what does Jay-Z own? Well, it sounds like people.
That part.
You know?
It's true, though. But I'm just like, what does... Beyonce is clearly her own artist.
Yeah.
Why doesn't she have a direct deal with Live Nation?
He's not going to let her go. There's no way. He could absolutely hate her and he still would not let her go. Like I said earlier in the show, these people, all they care about is money and fame. Specifically the handlers. There are a lot of people in Hollywood that are just pure victims. And they're slaves.
She actually died screaming. And the Carters are responsible. But one of them is just a little more responsible than the other. Question is, did Sean Carter delete his mistress, his pregnant mistress, because his wife was jealous? Or could it be possible that maybe his wife's temper is just a little worse than most people think?
And I'm here to tell you that her family and friends, along with a couple of celebrities within the industry, has contacted lawyers and FBI officials to reopen the case involving the cause of her death. The family are of the definitive belief that the autopsy report of Cathy dying from an aneurysm is false and the results were bought and paid for. They also suspect that if her passing was caused by an aneurysm, that it was somehow induced upon her artificially. And it was all because she was about to expose her relationship with Jay, and she told him that she was about to go public. It was also determined that Cathy was pregnant with Jay's child at the time of her passing. And we are just getting this news from an anonymous retired medical assistant of Cathy's former OBGYN, who is still alive and says they are ready to talk. When investigating the timeline of Jay and Cathy's relationship, Cathy would have had her child around the same time Beyonce announced she was pregnant in 2011 with Blue Ivy. I was directed to you because blank, and I'm not going to say their name, said you were solid and that you did a thorough job reporting on Kim Porter. I am close to this situation and I know what really on. Claudia Jordan knows what happened and she suspected that Jay had her best friend deleted too. The truth is about to come out and shake the industry too.
She actually took the time to make a song to mock the death of her husband's mistress. Ironically, almost 15 years later, it's come up again. They say Beyonce's wedding ring was given to Cathy first. Allegedly, she was pregnant. When I started watching American Horror Story, I knew it was about Beyonce. Demonic predictive programming. The first thing that caught my eye was all the blue. This season was about a young actress who was having problems conceiving and was basically willing to sell her soul for an Oscar. Now, we know Beyonce tried her hand at acting earlier in her career, but that's one award she won't be able to buy because she can't act. There was a scene from the set of Rosemary's Baby where Mia Farrow was wearing the fake baby bump. And of course, it made me think about when Beyonce had on her collapsing baby bump. The question is, was she actually pregnant or did she have a surrogate? A lot of people think it was Cathy's baby. The announcement was made on August 28th. Blue was born January 7th, so if you count full term back 40 weeks, that would mean she conceived around April 30th, making her about 4 months in this photo. You would think that since she had so much trouble conceiving in the first place that she would wait at least to 6 or 7 months. Typically, a person as fit as her wouldn't start showing until they were 6 or 7 months. And that's definitely not a 4-month baby bump. You can still wear your regular clothes, though. The maternity pants are sending me. In the song Daughter, Beyonce sings about how she offed a mistress in the bathroom. And of course, they played out that scene in American Horror Story. But that wasn't the only song that she bragged about Cathy. We'll get to that soon. Cara Delevingne played a character named Ivy. And there's also twins in this season. Remember when Jay-Z was trying to sign her to Roc Nation? And then she got kicked off his jet for being under the influence of something and acting strange. The witches were making Anna's skin peel off, and it made me think about the poem that Beyonce wrote in Lemonade. I can wear her skin over mine. That's Kim Kardashian on the left and Anna on the right. Notice how the spider is over her womb like it's waiting to take possession. I knew it looked familiar. There was a spider in the Coven season with Papa Legba. Notice the baby on the left. And when she flips the page, the baby is in the spider's belly. Delicate was based off a book, but I wonder if these seasons are connected since they're both about witches. Look at the duality of the two characters. It's like one's dead and one's alive. Look at Kim's eyelashes. And again, the color blue. And look how the spider is going into Kim, like it's taking something from her. Now, down at the bottom, you see it premiered 9/20 or 9/2 because the 0 doesn't count in gematria. Their On the Run tour premiered on HBO 9/20 or 9/2. They ended the tour on September 13th because they have that song together, the very first song they did together, Me and My Girlfriend. September 13th was the day that Tupac died. Cathy White died September 1st, but they found her September 2nd, just days before Beyonce's birthday.
If it's what you truly want, I can wear her skin over mine, her hair over mine, her hands as gloves, her teeth as confetti, her scalp a cap, her sternum my bedazzled cane. We can pose for a photograph, all three of us, immortalized. You and your perfect girl.
Okay, so I started doing my research on Cathy White because I'm like, yeah, I'm starting to believe what these people are saying in the streets. So this is Cathy White, but let me show y'all something. Okay, so allegedly, Cathy White was pregnant by Jay-Z. And this is the same year that Beyonce announced she was pregnant. The streets are saying that was just a distraction and that the really, y'all know how they say Beyonce wasn't really pregnant. She used a surrogate. I believe that too. And this is the reason why. You get what I'm saying? They said this came out. It was a whole big deal. But that's why they silenced her. But let me show y'all something. I want to go ahead and put this up there just as a receipt. This is when she announced her first pregnancy. She needs to admit that she had a surrogate. I also want to ask, was Dr. Jackie her OBGYN? I'm just trying to put 2 and 2 together because, you know, people seem to get promoted when they working behind the scenes in lies. You know what I'm saying? Well, I wonder, is that the tea? But anyway, back to Jay-Z. As a man, I feel like he did probably do anything to cover his dirt. Just looking at academics trying to spin this narrative, put that lie out there, knowing good and darn well what he did was what he did. You know, when a man ego is, I don't even know if this is ego. Oh my Jesus. But I just want to share this information. I just find it interesting. I don't believe the streets is lying.
She was black and blue, blood on the floor, just like in this movie, when Beyonce killed the mistress, and the mistress had claimed to be pregnant. I think she told us what she did. It's in everyone's face. No conspiracy here.
My For You page is so messy. And if you're seeing this, yours is too. So anyways, listen to this story about Beyonce and Jay-Z. Beyonce and Jay-Z are married, right? And they have a bunch of kids together. Everyone knows Blue Ivy. She was the couple's first child together. And you see this lady right here? That's Cathy White. She was allegedly Jay-Z's mistress for like a really, really long time. Well, anyways, right around the time that Beyonce got pregnant and announced her pregnancy with Blue, a bunch of news came out that Jay-Z was, of course, messing with Cathy. And I believe the song, people are now saying that the song of Beyonce, Ring the Alarm, is actually about Cathy. And anyways, so Beyonce supposedly called Cathy and was like, hey, don't mess with my man. And right now, as you know, Cowboy Carter was just released and Beyonce has a song on there called Daughter. And if you look at the lyrics, they're a little sketchy and people immediately noticed it and were like, wait, what is this song about? Of course, pause to read. And this is the second part, pause to read. So you guys remember this little debacle that Beyonce had a while ago when she was pregnant with Blue and she was on an interview and she bent over and her baby bump basically like collapsed. People were like, we understand Beyonce's having a baby, but maybe she's not carrying the baby, because in celebrity world, that's normal. You know, surrogacy is definitely a thing. But now, ever since Cowboy Carter came out, a bunch of drama has been stirred up all over again. Now everyone thinks that Cathy White is Blue Ivy's actual mom because of the resemblance. But get this part. You ready for this? Cathy passed away on the same year that Blue was born. A relatively healthy 28-year-old Cathy passed away in her apartment of an aneurysm. And so a lot of people came out with theories saying like, oh, it was Jay-Z, he just wanted to get rid of her and then they kept the baby and then they raised the baby as their own or whatever. But then you had the little feud between Jay-Z and Kanye, and Kanye came out and said that he, Jay-Z, got of his mistress because it was a problem with Beyonce. And now with the release of Cowboy Carter, this has kind of stirred everything all up again and people are breaking down the timeline. So supposedly when you line up Cathy's death, it would have put Blue Ivy as like a 6-month-old if you were like gestationally pregnant. So a lot of people believe that she was taken out and then they took Blue Ivy and raised her as their own, and Beyonce walked around a few months after she announced that she was pregnant with Blue and that Blue is not her daughter. Of course, all of this is allegedly. Please don't sue me. But the reason that this is all being like stretched out all over again is because of the entire P. Diddy thing. Now people are saying in order for P. Diddy to get kind of out of his situation, he might, you know, snitch on Jay-Z. Of course, allegedly. So I'm gonna wait for updates on this. And of course, I'll fill you in. Again, this is all alleged. I love Beyonce. Please don't come for me.
So at this point, I just want to throw this in here because I feel like even though all of these things are happening and majority of them are true, whatever has been proven to be true are true and people have been hurt. But I also feel like this is an agenda for something a bit deeper or way deeper, because my thing is Jay-Z, Beyonce, Diddy, all of those people have been doing this. You do know the presidential election is coming up and there's a lot of things that are happening in the world that they don't want you to pay attention to. So don't look over here, look over there instead, because we're taking these people down. Although I also feel like it is an agenda to take down the black icon, the black, you know, pillars of the black community. Although yes, they are doing bad things. And yes, all of these things have been happening because they've been happening for years. And they have been proof of Diddy doing all these things and Beyonce with the thing with Cathy White. We've been knew that Beyonce and Jay-Z did some way. We're not exactly sure 100% of what the agenda is, but we do know that the election is happening right now. And there's a lot of more important things going on in the world. So those things are being covered away from us. Meanwhile, every single minute is something about Jay-Z and Beyonce and Diddy in the news. So pay attention to that. Even though you're being entertained, also pay attention to what's happening also, because you got to be balanced, right? But like I said, there's countless articles, there's countless movies that actually drop hints if you really pay attention, like the movie Obsessed that Beyonce was a part of, and she basically attacked the mistress. You know, and also her song, she literally put in lyrics. People are literally reading the lyrics and getting into the song, but they don't even know exactly what they're reading. Because what do you mean I can wear her skin? I can wear her scalp? Ma'am, are you scalping this person so you can wear their head? Beyonce.